Hello and welcome back to Nasty Nate, Plant Exterminator in the Farm of Doom. And I'm back over here at the Farm of Doom. And I'm going to do a little video on the black Sigatoka that affects the bananas here. And this is a great example of the black Sigatoka. And what it does, it's a fungus. The spores get on the leaf, infect the leaves mainly, but it also can affect the trunk as well. And what it does is it turns these leaves brown. I mean, they go from green to brown, and they're no longer functional for, they're not providing energy, they're not producing, they're not providing energy for the plant. It's no longer an effective solar panel at that point. And you see it mainly on the bunches that are in the bananas that have bunches, because we don't want to cut those down while, because it's still, even the stems that's in there, it's already converted energy in the stems, and we want to make sure that the plant is able to use that for the bananas to get those a little chubbier and a little more healthy before harvest. But it's to me, it's very sickly to look at that, and I'd rather have 10 healthy leaves when the bunch is ready than to have where you've got 3 or 4 dead leaves sticking up on top. So we're getting that under control. I'm spraying twice a month with different fungi, with 2 different fungicides now, and we're going to try and get that black Sigatoka under control. And right now, and I'm showing you the video too, this looks bad. Looks real bad, actually. It's just that we fertilize this week, and next week we have it scheduled. I schedule every other week we prune the banana. So this is at 2 weeks what it looks like with the Sigatoka. And you can see when it starts, even just looking up on like this leaf that got left behind, it just completely went rampant. And so now this will be cut. Even though you see some Sigatoka here, you don't want to cut too short against the tree, because it can damage the banana. But you'll see it like this leaf here. You'll start to see it under here. Like this whole leaf would go, even though you wouldn't just cut the tip of this leaf off because of it. It's already down even here even. So you'd take that whole leaf as well, and then just trim up, even pull off some of the dead skin off of the tree there, and just clean up the bananas. So we'll do the pruning on Monday. But that black Sigatoka looks bad. And my wife and I, Cielo, we just went to Davao to pick up those cacao seedlings, which I made a video on. And when we went there, we saw a banana plantation, and it had absolutely zero Sigatoka, and it's bad. If you don't let it go, if you do not treat your bananas, you'll end up with these tiny little bananas that would be called rejects. No one's going to buy those. So you have to stay on top of that, and you can do that through mechanical means, the pruning, and then the chemical means, which would be the spraying for the fungicide. It looks bad. But on that trip to Davao, they had it was like a dole plantation, and it was just loaded with bananas, and you didn't see a single incident of the Sigatoka. It just kind of, and those tissue cultures, those banana tissue cultures, just aren't available. I mean, we even drove all the way to Davao to get the best tissue cultures we could find, and then we purchased from two local two of the larger local growers here, some of the suckers to plant also. But just looking at that Sigatoka, it looks terrible. So, and then we have implemented though too, like even like this brown, like this one, once it's brown, this shall be cut tomorrow too, even though it has a bunch of bananas on it. And if there's another one where the stem is already yellow, we're going to go ahead and start cutting those down, just because you don't want to infect anything else with that Sigatoka. And you're supposed to, when we prune it, move it away from the plant, because you don't want the suckers or the next generation coming up. And this is also telling me that, I mean, you could look at this and see that we are behind on desuckering. Like there should only be one adult, one teenager, and one baby banana per group, per hill, they call it. And like here you look and there's a lot of these, you'll have 15 suckers coming up. Well, now the plant is taking all that nice fertilizer expensive fertilizer we put in, and pumping that into the other suckers instead of just pumping it into that banana. We want those bananas plump, and so that's also the next thing. We're doing pruning next week, and desuckering, because it just needs to be one baby, one teenager, and one adult banana. And besides that, with them eating up your fertilizer and not pumping it into the bananas, that one bunch of bananas, you'll end up getting 2 or 3 bunches on the same tree. And what that does is you'll have 3 small bunches, and then when you'll harvest that whole thing, and there won't be any suckers behind, because you had 3 big plants shading them out, and so then that area is just slow growing. So it's better. It is so much better just to have one baby, one adult, and one teenager, because as soon as that adult's gone, you've got a teenager coming up behind it that's going to produce. So you'll end up with 3 big bunches instead of 3 tiny bunches, because they were trying to distribute the nutrients. But it cracked me up that Dole they have those tissue cultures, the disease-resistant tissue cultures that resist the Sigatoka, and I can't get those. I mean, a regular farmer, a local farmer, a regular, even a larger farmer, doesn't have those available. Looks like he had a bunch of bananas. That one, the weight of we got sticks on there to try and prop them up, but that one succumbed to the weight. So I'll come back and grab that one real quick. But so you'll have that Sigatoka, which affects the bunch weight of the bananas, and makes it to where most small farmers here cannot plant bananas because they can't take care of them, because the Sigatoka is so bad. And even if they want those, so anyway, I guess I'm looking at it as you've got these Del Monte coming in. They've got these genetically modified tissue cultures that allow them to grow bananas profitably, and because they're disease resistant, but those tissue cultures aren't available to the local farmers who work their ass off trying to make their farm work, and just don't have that available, even if they wanted to buy them, so they could produce nice bananas and not have to worry about something like the Sigatoka, which, as you can see, and it does look bad. We're pruning, so it's just, and I mean, we were stopped in traffic. It wasn't like we were just zooming by. There was some traffic there, so I was stopped on the street and just looking at these bananas, and you couldn't even find Sigatoka in there. I was like, man, I wish I could have found these. This would have been amazing to have that. Just to, it's hard enough just getting them. I mean, and you're looking, each one of these bunches can be up to 30 kilos, maybe actually up to 35 kilos even, and then carrying those back across the field here if you don't have the proper equipment yet, which I don't. So it is a carry. That can be taxing in itself, but just knowing that those tissue cultures are available, but I mean they're there, they exist, but you just don't have access to them. I would think that some sort of government programs would make those available to the people, and I can't say that they're not available. Well, I can say that I tried very, very hard and went to probably 12 different buildings and different government agricultural. I don't know what all the names were, but all the different ones trying to acquire them, and nobody had any. In any of those offices you go to, the people are very nice. It's just nothing was available. So it's just funny that huge companies can profit like that, and it keeps these farmers to where they're barely even eking out an existence, and I can see why. I'm not even going to break even here, it looks like. So, and I thought I'd mention that. I'll go ahead and enter there. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.